Yo, GhanaTube so and now when you go so Moshe, your co Adenta municipality AMP Awoho, Ayakusia Million, and I got to not a sense so now in some hour can't move on for anybody. I want you to more. O ma bu yima pa any before communicators na mo na mo di MPP party ni enyanwa because omo mba out and be church dia ma plan for any ba ma ya no and ma mi aja no so say obe church gonna afford there on penyi aye na nsem no de menji enfini ni meko hakoti on one nsem.
No, you see, one of the things that she was speaking of, one that a person may correct it quickly. Creating an impression say skills training idea from Kwan they are coming to introduce, and as the government hasn't done enough towards that. So no kind of say the data is then data will speak. As a time when government took over in 2016 and in 2020 our manifesto, in 2020 manifesto no, we accounted for our tenure in the from 2016 to 2020. About entrepreneurs, startup for young entrepreneurs, we have done 19,000. The challenge.
Why you fana?
Yes, is part NEIP is part Ghana Enterprises Agency.
19,000.
19,000. This was 2020, and this was even mentioned here in the studio. Modern business practices. And you train your mind say you the startup now. Okay, say no, you are trained. Your mindset, your challenges, what you have to do as an entrepreneur, what you have to expect, what you have to anticipate problems. As an entrepreneur, you train under Mahama led NDC government. Omankasa and a capture. So they had trained. They had supported 1,060. It is a 1,016. I do not know because they have a tendency to forget what Ivan Satanovs did. They just sent out Mahama's governance. 1,060. That was what they captured. Yeah, 19,000.
That's what their data captured.
Yes, that's what their data captured. And
160.
1,060, not 160.
1,060
compared to 19,000. Only 19,000 if we were. There are those who got funding of 10,000 to 100,000 to scale up their businesses, and then let's say almost start here fresh where you support here those who already had businesses. 10,000 to 100,000 Ghana cedis compared to Omo data said 166. So compare. Say no kano ono kasa ka say enye say no mompe John Mahama sentino amount to Niswaba. They Ghanaians realized that there was something better. And there's a difference, maybe it's now because there's a difference between the challenges we've had. There was a local orchestrated challenge under their regime. Ours is a global challenge for which every country had its feel of it. But
then already the benefits are more derived from that global challenge in the mind.
There's no way ever that it should ever be repeated. Say there was a blessing in disguise for COVID. With COVID, I lost family members, I lost friends. It doesn't matter. You can never capture it as a blessing in disguise when money is coming in. Obi text say Ebola support. I didn't even know that Ebola money had come in. Also support. I don't have that data, but it is important for us to look at that because that is the reference you're making.
Ebola support by
Ebola na yang amba enra acronym support by. So what happened to that support? Because Anyashia Omahini at the time we were testing, treating, tracing. So 3 T's na Ghana initiative. You are aware that other countries SUFE 2 months after Ghana has started up, that's a friend saying intervention, and I said that I don't want to. Yes, I'll call it an intervention in terms of the practice of protecting citizenry. The UK hadn't done that. UK started weeks after we had started. It got to a time other countries were learning from us. It's you can say
policies, employment rate, budget. I'm year since the 7 years. I'm not no, and I'm born with a top. I was born at the Amagana force on the share. Now the partner say, interesting partner say, in some months, I
beg to differ because you see, the challenge of COVID is not like Sebi. We will see say a jaba. You say wakosano. What you say? You don't see it. And answer my you are sitting next to somebody at a dinner. 2 weeks later, you say why they we free more COVID. when COVID no way. Now if you was start checking, we say as a wo as a team feel. It was so scary. It was a very difficult time because nobody knew what was going to happen. The difficulty, yes, and that it was biting in the sense right? We're not working, but they were being paid. That I say we don't talk about it. Sometimes it's like, oh, yeah, people are settling.
Yes, but so the point is that the reason in buy, but was and you know what was the effect of that? Because
people were paid. We were giving support to frontliners in the medical space, the doctors, the nurses. We understood the challenges. We're providing face masks. We're providing because 400,000 people is not such a shocking thing per se. In terms of numbers, when they're going to do their primaries near there, they're in the thousands and the tens of thousands. So feeding 400,000 people shouldn't be surprising. But even if we could have done more, maybe, just maybe, that would have been a life changer for their family. So let's not belittle these interventions. Back to the data now, 19,000 entrepreneurs, startups, as compared to 1,060. Now 4,350 young entrepreneurs or money and supports between 10,000 and 100,000. That's the out of that, at the time or accounted to stewardship, had only helped 166. So how do you compare 4,350? And this even as at 2020. I'll come to currently training Bema ye bibia or that why no Kofi Japan mine wow in Kofi Japan. They have undertaken certain trades and vocation areas, right? From upholstery, beauty care, plumbing, painting, steelworks, fabrication, auto works, carpentry, glazing, masonry, painting. Oftentimes we have people sourcing labor from Togo. Because OMG Togo nino oba ni finishing no compared to Ghana for TVET has been a thing under this government, free, giving them the tools to learn. There are challenges, but the challenges aside, no, at least you will say initiative may take it off. 1 year alone from January this year, the first phase targets 10,000 youth. By end of year, they are hoping. Well, I won't say hope. They are bent on training 20,000, and I'm saying bent because what I've seen Kofi Japan do is, or starting BBA, he finishes it, and kasa implementation is no jumana start. 6 months of training. No, after they do the 6 months of training, they'll be you better set your more up into training in textiles and dressmaking. Kofi Bebrowa, minya ba kosi Yankee frame. I don't know, say mistake and all kinds on what's happening. I don't know, maybe she had something she wants to chime in.
Okay.
500 local companies were supported. Judy K, Matisama Bonidiwa, even in the first time, she got some support for the training but in Bebunu there. So coming to sit here to say that in Bebunu then support, we are talking about close
employment rate. Budget I'm able to my year since the 7 years I'm at no and I'm born with a top I was born at the Amagana force or me the emotion. Now the pattern say interesting pattern say in some data now you can say well literally over 60,000, and that's what the data captures from just 1 or 2 agencies. So talk about those who get the support from subsidiaries that they don't even come and sit here on the radio to even acknowledge it. You realize that some of them understand how the system works, so they often benefit from the same pond beside him. How and I know that moving forward we will streamline so that when the net is cast wider, we'll catch more people who benefit from it. Say there's nothing that Margot has to offer in terms of what she said. Who compare also be Yempenasem no the 166 will be compare 4,350 or the 1,016 be compare 19,000. This was at 2020 for data of
2024 so this is not something that it's my bomb is in America. This is something that actually has been done, and it will continue to do it. And remember, Kofi Jopon, wherever he is, this afternoon, there was a video. NDC communicator, supporter, or benefiting from why on one tom or my testimony. This is an NDC person testifying that in one bemu or no or supporting another party, no supporting by a day, maybe. And that's the same with your COVID disbursement here. There was something like party card way. No, it was to Ghanaians, because when a crisis once in 100 years, I know that we're never going to see something like that in our lifetime, and I hope so, because not knowing whether you are going to see next week or the week after. There was a standing joke by June they no be able. By June there. Okay, and it was scary, but you could hear things like people, very important people, and it's not to say of who is important or not, but a lot of people died in the thousands. And even though people say that it wasn't as bad compared to other countries, we still lost some very, very important people. Dr. Plangerou, that was his name. Yeah. One of the first casualties. It shocked me to the bone, because this was somebody at Chester. It's not about money. He was literally fighting for others to also live. So let's not belittle the inroads. And yes, it's not perfect, but you certainly cannot compare the numbers in terms of the impact it's had on the lives of young people. It's not to say you're resolving issues.
Margot talks about no breaking weight with Dr. Baumia, who has not lived up to expectation. Why is it that Marjorie said
you know what? I would take Dr. Baumia digitalization agenda over Inkuko Blue Kitty any day. Dr. Baumia told us what was possible for Ghana. When we campaigned in 2016, manifesto it was vetted and Ghanaians endorsed it, and majority of the things we said after the time 2020 elections, in terms of rating, there were some media houses who independently rated it and said, well, it looks like 70% of it has been captured. It looks like 75%. I pegged it at 76%. Why? Because, think about it. In 2016, out of all the policies we spoke about, the one that resonated the most with Ghanaians was free SHS. We implemented it in our first year of governance. It has its teething problems, it's had its challenges, but even other African countries looked at us and said, dream who say John Mahama one min kai your castle be min kai policy ba ko ka say ebe so Ghana for the doso me kai John Mills there. Mills said one-time health premium obekai. One-time health premium, he wasn't able to do it. In fact, when they came, they literally by its second or third year had rationalized the one-time health premium. But that was their Atambo's Jina so at the campaign here at Ghana for the team. I saw some people on the streets who can't pay well. So one-time health no way see. One-time health no way see. So Rebecca said Anka Onumpo Sesebe of farmers running meat. I was training Kwano. I don't even want to say that he was lucky that the sitting president died. No, but he then became a beneficiary and launched himself from vice president to president. If for nothing at all, so go back Mills and you say, Era Mills or one-time health premium. Let me just do it in honor of him, so that if for nothing at all, there's a policy that is a success, at least for the NDC. There's no single policy or mahini. I so Ghana for those. So if you are coming to talk about Dr. Baumia, in a time of crisis offered a solution. As complex as it is for some to understand, no, gold for oil, we say, yes, the prices at the pumps, in your crank from, but we know, say, given what experts have told us, given what we've seen, that the prices would have been far above what we are used to now. But sir, efforts now or the buy, that thinking, and that's what leadership is about. So do with Nikasa, the consistency, the commitment. They will assume a lot of people have learned from Dr. Baumia's being a number two, how you act as a number two, how you conduct yourself as a number two. Never outshine your master. wasum yeman pepepe, and we have endorsed him. No, I've been dealing him, and he's given his ideas already. You call well, I but when he outlined his vision at best in the 70 what do you call the 70 ideas, more or less, the bold solutions we spoke about, there are people who are mocking it. So you know what, when it comes to the MPP, some of these things we say you mock, but in the end, no, no doubting. They are the ones who turn around to what? Start championing it. Free SHS. This is capacity that over 10 years, you see the implications in the country. You see the effect it would have on people. You see young people, they would have truncated their education at the primary level, now at a better position to even get jobs in certain institutions, because minimum certificate or requirements, SHS. So when you have a leader like Dr. Bawumia, who understands the challenges, he has never run away from the challenges. The president himself has also not run away from the challenges. President Kaninu say everything, the buck stops with him. Oh no, leader. Nyamana etiche no. They will make us say blow na a board John Mahama with the localized disruptive governance na you experience here. That's not what we experienced with the MPP. But this administration, there's been too much wastage in terms of how man managing and corruption related matters. The way I see it, whether they are alleged, whether they are realities, it sunk into a lot of people's mind. Maybe every day you wake up to the extent that the former president says that every day you wake up to a new scandal. It's very worrying. Omayini, the reality of governance is that you work with people. Issues will come up, but issue be bad. You said it here on your sometimes I love how you respond to even how people throw blanket statements there and say no and you correct them. Issues be ohonoma sebe intiasie ba, then we understand it better. I'll not say on any day that we haven't had challenges. I'll not say on any day that this government has been perfect. However, this government has been better than the last government. If we are going to compare, a track record of achievements. Say Yebeka say Obibi Tumasoraka say in health alone, aside Agenda 111, I was actually having a conversation. David Boache, I think he was talking on a sister network. David, one of your communicators, no? And it's aside Agenda 111, there are 65 health facilities among government's way. 65, and I just wanted me say on sending me pictures because sometimes you know a few, but when you have that number, it beefs up your argument. So it cannot be that in terms of comparison or perception, and perception is powerful, as you're saying. That's all they think they are seeing, especially if they're not seeing something identifiable within their own vicinity. But
for any for her and I'm doing basic, it was that in some maintenance. It didn't tell me who a chammy, a dear bro, Michelle, and I from her GhanaTube.